set a new outright lap record, not just for these cars, but an outright lap record at a time of 53.39 seconds. Okay then, that's the build-up to the big race of the afternoon. It's the Formula Opels we'll be seeing next for the Leinster Trophy, a trophy that has been won in the past by some famous names and faces.
Some very famous people have won there, myself included. Not so famous, of course, but a great Ayrton Senna won, Häkkinen won there, our own Rubens Barrichello finished third there. It was a great pleasure, because to win there was something that all the great names had won. The Leinster Trophy, 75 years, it seems unbelievable, but to have that length of continuity of any club or any sport is something that's phenomenal. And of course Mondello has to play its part, because that was where a lot of us cut our teeth, so to speak. And those memories are very vivid in my mind, and very pleasurable days. Sometimes with the stress that's going on around here these days, I wish I was back there, but such is life. And if I could be in any way complimentary, Leinster Motor Club have been a fantastic source of motorsport to the whole nation of Ireland. And I wish them everything that they could possibly wish for themselves. And let's hope the success of it goes on, and great names can win there, and hopefully in the future.
Yeah, I wish the Motor Club and the whole Mondello Park a very, very good luck, and be careful, the first corner is very tight. Very, very good luck.
As a previous winner of a race at the Leinster Trophy in 1991, I just want to wish all the competitors of the 75th anniversary good luck.
I just want to take the opportunity to congratulate the Leinster Motor Club on its 75th anniversary. It's been a fantastic history. It's developed some of the greatest drivers, with Kennedy and Rowe and Daly and Joey Greenan, and it's a pity we won't be there this year, but we'll be looking forward to racing again at Mondello in the future. But in the meantime, our hats off to Leinster.
It's a fabulous meeting and a fabulous circuit. It's got a lot going for it. It's my favourite circuit anyway, and especially because it's in Ireland, it's very good. And it's a good circuit where I certainly learned all my tricks to drive and all that, prepared me for racing in Europe.
Well, it's a fantastic event for Irish drivers and for Irish motorsport, not least because fellas like you, Michael, get the event covered on TV and brings it across to the general public and give them a chance to see real racing. You'll see real racing here this weekend at Spa, but around Mondello, around the tight, twisty confines of the circuit there, it's a fantastic circuit for drivers to learn on, and you get some superb racing. So I'd like to wish them all the best of luck and keep it on the island.
Well, it's been one of the biggest events in Irish motor racing history. I mean, when I first started to attend races as a child, then beginning racing myself, and then finally winning the Leinster Trophy, one of the premier awards in Irish motorsport, and one of the ambitions, I think, of anybody who competed at any level of motor racing in Ireland.
So John Watson finishing those tributes. He won the trophy in 1971, and great news, of course, this afternoon is the Jordan team finishing 4th and 5th at Monza. So again, two people who we got messages from there, particularly Rubens Barrichello, who finished 4th in the Italian Grand Prix this afternoon. Now we have the big one, the Leinster Trophy here at Mondello, and there is the grid.
Yes, and on pole position, and not like the previous race, which was a reverse grid, we have the star of Formula Opel, young Wayne Douglas, driving the Cliff Dempsey Castrol car, and beside him Derek Conneely, the best one from the south of Ireland. He's had a win at Kirkeston, he's had a win here, and now he'll want to win this one. He'll want to put his name, along with Eddie Jordan and John Watson, on the Leinster Trophy. On the second row, it's Michael Edgar, who lost a nose cone in the last race, but he's back in fighting form. And beside him, the evergreen Vivian Daly, who has won this race as well and could be the surprise feature today. On the next row, we have David Collier in the DHL car. Beside him, Adrian Pollock. Then Thompson, Noel Thompson, two Noels, Noel Dunn beside him, Dave Meagan, Ken Grandin in the second DHL car, and then Gary O'Brien.
So they're coming round at the end of their warm-up lap to go onto the grid, and just looking down this list of previous winners, it's incredible. Jason Watt, who's now last year's winner, who's now racing in the German Touring Car Championship in a Works Alfa Romeo. Vivian Daly the year before that, David Wright the year before that. Just moving back up the list, Vincenzo Sapiri, who's a test driver now for one of the Formula One teams. Mika Häkkinen, of course, who's the Works Formula One McLaren driver. JJ Latho, another man in the German touring cars. Henrik Larsson, Mauricio Gugelmin, IndyCar driver, and of course Ayrton Senna. But here we are. It's possibly not so international this year, but there's no doubt that the man on pole position there, Wayne Douglas, is a very, very talented driver indeed. Alongside him, the man who's a big rival in this year's Bridgestone Formula Opel Championship, Derek Keneally. Then on the second row of the grid, Michael Edgar, Vivian Daly. Then we have David Collier, Pollock, and it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and they're away. And a beautiful start for Keneally from the outside of the front row. He's got a good deal of space already, a bit of boxing going there, Michael Edgar, and slipping into second place, Wayne Douglas, so who didn't make such a good start.
A very good start there from Edgar, trying to get through Wayne Douglas, but in that situation just blocked Vivian Daly on the outside, and has let Adrian Pollock up. So now look at the battle for second place, which is between Douglas, Edgar and Adrian Pollock, the two Cliff Dempsey Castle cars, and Edgar is the sandwich in the middle. But at the moment, Derek Keneally, most beautiful start from the outside of the front row, slotted across. Don't mind that dust, that's where we had a little oil spillage. The marshals doing their job, putting a little bit of cement down, so that'll be dried up, but the drivers will still be a little bit hesitant going over it. It's slippy out there, Alan.
Young Derek Keneally, yes, but absolutely desperate to get his name out, really on the opposite line there as he came out of Dunlop corner that time. Absolutely desperate to get his name on the Leinster Trophy, one of the most prestigious trophies in the land. Completes the first lap with a nice little advantage at the moment. It's all happening for second place, and was pretty hectic down the field there as they were out the country the last time.
Yes, Daly lost out at the start. I said Michael Edgar just jumped across from the inside to the outside because he thought he could go around Wayne Douglas, but Douglas held that door firmly shut. But all down to Keneally. He got the start, he made the break, got through Coca-Cola the first time, and Douglas is trying. He's just put a wheel out on the grass and beginning to pull away. You can see he's really trying. He's beginning to reel in Keneally.
A big patch of cement there they keep going through. That's where the dust is, and it's still Douglas second, Edgar third, Pollock fourth, Daly fifth, and they're kicking out the dust on the outside of the S's there as they come up the hill towards Dunlop corner, and a great battle going on between the two DHL Penny's cars there in the background as young Ken Brandon and David Collier, who's leading them at the moment.
Side by side as to go down the straight, but the man that's really making the inroads, that is the third place battle between Edgar and Adrian Pollock. But Wayne Douglas on a charge at the moment, a time of 54.97 compared to our leader of 55.23, nearly a half a second quicker on that lap. So Douglas has the wick turned up. He'll want to win this as well. He made a quick trip to England last year to do the Formula B of the Opel Vauxhall Championship there, and actually had the pleasure of beating all the A runners one day. But unfortunately, finances, he has the talent but not the finances, and he wants to stamp his name back on Irish motor racing this year.
And providing they have the pennies, the tyre situation normally pertinent in Formula Vauxhall racing does not apply today, because they're all allowed new rubber for this special series of 3 races for the Leinster Trophy. This, of course, you are watching the final. It's Keneally, only 0.77 seconds between him and Douglas. In fact, it's 0.73 now between first and second place. Then Edgar, then Pollock, then Daly, then Dunn, then Grandin.
That battle out there's Pollock and Vivian Daly, the sandwich in between the two youngsters. The veteran driver in Opel, just a sandwich at the moment between them. Did you see that? Douglas just came in there as quick as I've ever seen an Opel come into Bridgestone, and he pulled about 2 car lengths on the leader. We got someone off, I think that's Gary O'Brien. It is indeed, unfortunately, off on the outside. The ones, and a retirement as well, number 16, unfortunately, just pulling in to the paddock. That's David Collier, so one of PJ Fallon's DHL cars out. But look at this, he just catches the inside. That is Noel Thompson, and O'Brien just catching the back wheel, unfortunately, and that's put him out. Dave Meagan just slipping through there in number 21, so that will all change for the lower part. But look at the moment what Douglas is at. But Keneally knows all about this. He's throwing the car in just equally as hard, and Daly really begun to put a push on to catch Pollock now. Keneally from Douglas, from Edgar, then Pollock, then Daly.
And this is a sprint race really by Formula Opel standards, because the normal championship rounds are 22 laps, just 15 laps here, and we've now got 11 to go, and it's very hot and heavy indeed. But Douglas is going to have to put an awful lot of pressure on this man ahead. It's creating a gap here at Mondello is the difficult thing. Very few passing places, and again, when you've got slicks and wings, the old problem that when you get close to another car, you get into what they call dirty air. That upsets the aerodynamics of the car and consequently affects their cornering speed. So it is difficult to pass. You've really got to put your heart in your mouth and take a lunge down the inside and try and find a gap that sometimes really doesn't exist.
Douglas again, he has this style where he turns in a little bit earlier, gets it onto the opposite lock and just slides through the corners, but he's much later on the brakes at times. But that doesn't mean he's quicker, because Keneally will not be flustered. He's just braking that little bit earlier and he gets the boot in and gets out of the corner. But down in Bridgestone, Douglas definitely that little bit quicker, but through the S's, Keneally seems to be able to pull that car length back, but he's closer than he ever was. Second S, just a quick gear change there, but there again you see he's very quick on the gear change and pull the 2 car lengths, and brave enough to stay out on the outside even though Douglas is that close to him, and take the quick line through Dunlop.
All these cars are completely identical. They've got the 2-litre Vauxhall or Opel engine in them, but of course you are allowed to make adjustments to the wings and to the settings on the shock absorbers, the springs and things like that, and that's where the professional teams that run these cars get the little bit of advantage, and that's where you will sometimes see cars that you know, are quicker in one part of the circuit than the other. Maybe the wing settings, maybe the spring settings, the shock absorber settings, or whatever. And
we have another serious retirement to the race. Vivian Daly now just pulling out into the paddock. So Vivian Daly's race is over. So that leaves Adrian Pollock in 4th place on his own. But Edgar Dunn actually got by Pollock. He's moved up as well. So maybe there was a coming together between Daly and Pollock. We'll keep an eye on that and we'll let you know. But this is not good for the Abracadabra 2FM car, because he was in with a chance. He was going well in the championship, and remember, everything is down to this championship, but today it is for the big one, the trophy. Douglas again very late on the brakes. Edgar was locking wheels the last time he was going in there that late, but again Keneally unruffled, and that would be a cheer and a delight from all the team over there at Ken Tom, Alan Kershaw and Tom Keneally. And it's again, we're looking to see what it is, 1 or 2 wings bent, so that we may have had contact, but we're back with the leaders.
And put yourself in the second place man's position at the moment, Wayne Douglas. How are you going to get past this guy? He's closer than ever he's been now. He's really hauled him in. All Keneally's advantage when he made that beautiful start and early break has now gone, and you can see how hard he's trying right out of the dirt there once again, and that's a place you can get into big trouble here at Mondello, so he's got to watch himself. They're using absolutely every millimetre of the track now, and coming down the main straight, hitting about 140 miles an hour before they go on the brakes here for Coca-Cola, and Wayne Douglas trying down the inside, locking wheels as he did so. He's lost a little bit of momentum there. It gives Keneally a little bit of breathing space. You can see that beautiful shot of them opposite locking through that fast left-hander, and it was really Wayne Douglas who more or less, Brian, rewrote the book here of Formula Opel racing when he invented this dramatic sort of sideways style a couple of years ago when he got his championship win.
The tires they use, these Bridgestone slicks, are very, very sticky indeed, and he felt that the car gripped too much, so in order to get it, throw it at the corner and get the car to break away, he was actually doing quicker laps, and it may not be the quickest way, some may think, but it works for him. Now, the one thing I'm really impressed with Keneally that time when Douglas tried it is he has got the faith in his own driving ability to be able to go out and leave that inside door open. Let Douglas have a look at the inside, but that's the slow way unless you make the pass, and he just slingshots himself out and pulls that couple of car lengths. Now, that is the sign of confidence.
Well, there's all kinds of stages when you're going up the motor racing ladder, and of course the big stages to get into this top class for a start off. Then you've got to get yourself onto the front row or up towards the front row, and then the next big stage really comes when you get your first win. And Derek Keneally got his first win just a week ago at Kirkeston, and a magnificent win it was, and that's given him this little extra bit of confidence, but he's only too well aware that he's got 2 champions on his tail.
Well, a lot of confidence as well, because it's basically Wayne Douglas's home circuit in the north of Ireland. So to beat the Northerners on their home circuit, again, Douglas looking at that inside line, but it's not the quickest way. Keneally just putting the power down, but Douglas got a good sling out of that one. He's a little closer than he was, but snapping the gears coming down the straight as they head down to Coca-Cola. Again, going over to the left, using the wide line, turning in nice and late, just brushing the curb there and out in the country. But all this time, Michael Edgar's beginning to sneak up for that third place, and he's looking at second. Now, this would put Douglas under pressure and would give Keneally a breathing space.
You can't get breathing space out there at the moment, but as you say, Edgar's in a perfect position should these two tangle, which is a highly likely proposition. Only 5 laps to go, less than 5 laps to go now. Derek Keneally, the leader, number 7 in the MIM hydraulics car. In second place, we have Wayne Douglas in the Castrol car. And in third place, in the Edgar shop fitting car, the man who has been champion twice here in Ireland, number 20.
And a good drive in fourth place, in fairness to Noel Dunn. We haven't seen much, but he got by Pollock. It was Pollock and Vivian Daly who were at it, but he's actually got by Pollock. So Noel Dunn now is 4.3 seconds behind, about 3 seconds behind the third place man, Edgar. But he's there, and he has a good lead on Pollock. So he's sitting on his own in a lonely fourth place, but anything could happen up front. Two could tangle, and he could be in second place.
We were a little bit worried coming into this weekend that the field in the Formula Opus was a little bit Spartan, but certainly they're putting on a great show for us here on the Leinster Trophy. Every bit as exciting as indeed some of the international fields we've seen here. So, Wayne Douglas, time is running out for him. He will be getting almost slightly desperate now, really trying to keep that pressure on all the time as they come once again into this very, very fast right-hander. Not quite so wide, any of them that time, a little bit tidier.
Yes, very much indeed, and the tires will be nice and sticky, but they don't want to get the wheel out over the curb at all because it upsets the balance of the car, and you've got to wait that few seconds till you come up. With 3 laps to go as they cross the line, Keneally still leading by 2 car lengths, and Edgar just pulling in a little bit, not as much as he was. Under brake, and Douglas again does it, but Keneally, he has the head, keeps the cool, and through the left-hander out into the country again. Now, this is where Douglas is definitely that little bit quicker, or maybe he's just getting in on the brakes a little bit later, and they trying to maybe put Keneally off, trying to put him under that pressure. But Keneally, again, just as he pulls out, can pull that car length back.
Just quick calculation there, 14 corners before the end of the race, so that is not a lot of time left for Douglas to really do anything about this. And this is a corner that Keneally is particularly good on. He's very, very fast through that right-hander, faster than anybody, and it gives him that little bit of advantage and protects him in one of the favourite overtaking spots at Dunlop Hairpin. Down they come, 2 laps to go, and really the momentum is building up to a glorious win for this young, virtually local man.
But it is, and Douglas being the last of the late breakers there, but again losing out a little, but he just caught it, got on the throttle quick, turns in much quicker this time. He's closer coming down to Bridgestone than he was on the last lap, and let's see if he can do anything again. Keneally just turning in beautifully, just not looking. Douglas going wide to try and get a real slingshot up the hill, but it didn't work. He got it okay, he got the momentum going in, so having a look at the inside as they come down to the S's. Now they're coming down to start their last lap, and this is where Keneally, through this corner here, can pull that vital car length to get up the hill to Dunlop for the second last time. Will he last? In 1.25 miles to go. Again, very, very confident, using all the track, the quickest line. Out he goes, misses the curb, and Edgar still sitting in that third place thinking, what can I do? What will happen up front?
And he's only going to get into the big picture if there's a catastrophe ahead of him, because it's all about these two out ahead. Wayne Douglas, Derek Keneally leading him still, as he has done from the very change of the lights at the start of this 15-lap race, down into the country for the last time. This is a very tricky corner, double apex. You ignore the first apex and then go in very late on the second. Use the curbs on the outside, and Douglas, time is running out. He's got 3 corners to do it in now. This is not really a possibility on a dry day, and we've seen how good Keneally is in the right-hander. Up they come to Dunlop for the last time. Wayne Douglas's last chance, Brian.
Last chance, and Keneally so confident, just moved over that little bit in case he was going to do a do or die up the inside, but he doesn't. Lets him get close. He glances in the mirror. The fist is in the air. He's done it. Both fists are in the air. So it's Keneally all over the place. A delighted Keneally from Wayne Douglas, from Michael Edgar, and what a motor race.
And I think it's always nice to see young new names coming up, and this man has really had a splendid end of season. He's had 2 wins now in a row, and here he comes down the hill. He's absolutely delighted. Nearly takes the hands off the wheel too soon as he comes over the line. And Wayne Douglas and indeed the two champions behind him realise they've got a real threat in their hands. And of course, in 2 weeks' time, back here at Mondello, this man is going to be fighting for his first championship.
So we could be looking at the 1996 champion. So it's Keneally from Selbridge, from Wayne Douglas, from Michael Edgar, and a good drive to Noel Dunn in 4th place. Waving to the crowd as it goes through the